Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/entitled_people subreddit, 2 entitled sibling stories to be exact, so let's jump into it. Entitled sister-in-law dumps baby on my husband and takes $1 million from my father-in-law. So my dumbass sister-in-law discovered drugs and got knocked up at 15. She decided that she wanted to keep the baby. After 4 months after bonding with the baby, she decides that she no longer wants to be a mom and would rather go do drugs with her new boyfriend. Cue my husband, who graduates from high school early to stay home and take care of the baby, thus sacrificing his teenage years and early adulthood to raise this child. Sister-in-law spends 15 years of her adult life in and out of jail on meth and other hard drugs. She gives birth to 2 more babies with 2 more baby daddies and gets pissed at my husband when he won't adopt them. She marries 4 times, 3 times bigamously, and expects my husband to pay for all of her weddings. Finally, at age 35, she decides to go straight and get sober. She gets her GED, makes up with and meets her abandoned children who instantly forgive her because she expects them to. She then goes to culinary school. Sounds good, right? Wrong. This is where the real entitlement shit begins. She gets the bright idea to have a cupcake shop. She asks my husband and I for $10,000 to help start her out. We comply, as we are happy to help her on her path. She also convinces Phil to back her up. He backs her up while she tanks not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 cupcake shops, racking up $1 million in debt that our father-in-law paid, all the while refusing to listen to any good advice anyone ever tried to give her. Every time we see her, we have to kiss her ass and tell her how successful she is because she is a business owner. Never mind she has tanked 4 businesses because she can't take good advice or keep employees because she pays them crap. She expects us to kiss her ass and tell her she is an awesome mom, even though she has only seen her son with Down syndrome 12 times in his entire life. She does a fun activity once a year as a photo op, and then pawns him off on his grandma, and then posts it all over social media so people can fawn over how great of a mom she is. She also makes us tell her how talented her boyfriend is, even though he is serving a 20-year sentence for drugs, and she is constantly being harassed by his current wife for cheating on him. We have to sympathize with her whining every Valentine's Day because she can't be with her boyfriend because he's in jail. My father-in-law had a heart attack, so we drove 16 hours to come be with him. We spent the entire time listening to him rave about sister-in-law because she would have a tantrum if he said anything nice about my husband. My husband has raised 2 family members. He paid his way through college and is now a successful CTO of a software engineering firm. We have been married for 10 years and own our own house. We don't care about the money, but it wouldn't kill him to say at least one nice thing about my husband. My father-in-law has now shelled out $80,000 for her to get a new SUV because her current car is embarrassing, and another $250,000 to start a new gelato business. I told my husband that we are no longer giving her any money, to which he got mad and yelled at me. It makes me wonder what she ever did to deserve such loyalty. Okay, I have a lot to say about this one, so I apologize in advance. But I can't help but say that, holy crap, this family is a bunch of enablers. They all tiptoe around the sister for whatever reason, and she will never get better as long as she has her family catering to her every demand, which they are. I know it's probably extremely hard for her father to not help her. He loves his daughter and parents are supposed to help their children, but all sister-in-law is doing is using them, especially her father. And none of them seem to realize this except for OP. It would be hard to change this behavior out of Phil, and I know that for the older generation especially, that you can be blue in the face arguing with them as to why something may be toxic, and they will not budge on their family values. I went through it personally with my grandmother who got sucked dry by her own son battling addiction, which is forgivable when you grow up for 70 years with the mindset that family is everything. It's unlikely that they will change now, but one person OP might be able to bring out of the fog is her husband. He clearly has his own trauma. Being a teenager that was forced to raise his sister's baby is likely not good for one's mental health. And I'm going to assume the family dynamic itself was trash. So I think OP needs to talk to her husband about it, suggest therapy, be adamant of trying to make him realize that his sister is a sinkhole that can't be filled, that you don't want him to choose between you or cutting contact with his sister completely, but that you want boundaries and for him to get help. And if he refuses, well, then I think OP needs to consider getting out of that situation before it's too late, because judging by her husband's angry reaction to her idea of cutting sister-in-law off, it's likely that he's probably giving her money behind OP's back. And look, I do not like forcing ultimatums, but OP needs to ask her husband if he is willing to sacrifice yet another part of his life to make his sister, who doesn't care about anything or anyone besides money, happy. And if he chooses his sister's happiness over his wife's, well, that's pretty fucked up. Pardon my French. My entitled stepbrother. So, for some background, I'm 35 and my stepbrother is 20. He was 10 when my dad and stepmom got married. And to be clear, my stepmom is a very nice woman, and from what I've heard, his dad is nice enough. Maybe stepbrother was swapped at the hospital by gremlins or something. Anyway, stepbrother has been looking at universities and settled on a university in a city close to me and texts me the following. Keep in mind, he does have my number, but rarely, if ever, texted me. Hi OP, I've been looking at universities and chose one close to where you live due to tuition cost and the fact you live there. So if you could prepare a room for me, that would be great. Thanks. Here's a list of my requirements from you. I'm vegan, and you must not eat meat around me. I would prefer if it wasn't in the home at all. I'm a non-binary pansexual with a lean towards men. Please have no women over when I'm around. You have to build me a gaming PC for a fair price. Help me study. Drive me around because I don't drive. I honestly began laughing my ass off at how absurd this list was. Aside from the fact I live in a rural area, still close enough for decent internet and considered part of the city that they ran power lines out to my area, own my home, and have no intention of moving, he also must think I have piles of spare computer parts around. I replied back a day later, yeah, your demands are dumb, and no way in hell would I let you move in with me, much less respect any of your demands, so you can move your ass into the dorms like every other freshman. But we're family, we're supposed to help one another out. No, we happen to be arbitrarily related because your mom and my dad got married. That has everything to do with them and nothing to do with me. Well, can I talk to your landlord? Lol, I own my own home. I am the landlord. It was about this time my stepbrother gave up, called me an asshole, and other insults that weren't even worth mentioning. I decided to meme on him a bit and replied back after his rant, okay, Zoomer. That was the refresher I needed after that last story. An OP that isn't afraid to tell their relatives to pound sand. Also, I'm old and had to look up what a Zoomer was on Urban Dictionary, and it's apparently the equivalent to boomer, but for Generation Z, which is so good. I love it. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!